the
This
screen.
conference will now be recorded.
And majority of them have submitted your assignments. I'm expecting some more assignments to be received by this weekend. Once that, I'll be replying for you all with respect to their mail IDs. Yes, for each and everyone, including Neha, Bharat, Satish, Devanshu, everyone. So okay, Ranjini, I'll only just talk to them then. Okay, Sanjay, actually they should give you, but let me just check it out with them. What is the status from them? Okay. Okay. So let us start with today's session, that is scatter diagram. Try to understand what I'm explaining now. Scatter diagram or plot, it is also called as scatter plot, which provides a graphical representation, which is nothing but a graphical representation of the relationship of two continuous variables. So scatter diagram or scatter plot is nothing but it's a graphical representation of the relationship of two continuous variables. So what is this two continuous variables in a sense? For example, you're having two columns called as x and y. This is 1.5, this is 1.1, or 2.5, 3.5, or this is 1 and this is 2.2, this is 5, this is 8, this is 8, this is 12, this is 8.5, this is 12.5, like this. Anything it can be. Anything it can be. So scatter plot or scatter diagram provides a graphical representation. If you plot this on your graph, this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis, and it will define you the relationship of two continuous variables. Scatter diagram or scatter plot provides a graphical representation. For example, I'm getting a graph like this. Then it says that it is nothing but relationship of two continuous variables. Let me go to an explanation, and with respect to example, let me explain you how to understand with respect to this particular scatter plot or scatter diagram. Make sure that you understand scatter plot is a very important concept. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Now consider that this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. X-axis and y-axis. So in x-axis, let me take example of your work experience in years. Work experience in years. And on y-axis, it is your salary. On y-axis, it is your salary. Now, so if you're having 1 year of experience here, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, like this. And your salary, I'll start from 10K, 20K, 30K, 40, 50, 60, 80, 1 lakh, for example. Okay, so now this is your work experience in years. That is nothing but your x-axis, and y-axis is nothing but your salary work experience. Consider that you're having 1 year work experience. How much salary can you expect? Consider that for freshers or 1 year experience, can we get 10,000 rupees salary? Yes. Now, consider that after 1 year, you will be having it experience of 2 years. 2 years of experience. Can I expect 20 to 25K? I want you all to reply yes, no, yes or no at least.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you are getting 3 years of experience. You are having 3 years of experience. It is your salary will be increased to 30K. You are having 5 years of experience now. How much will be your salary? Approximate. Don't see with respect to this chart. I'm asking you in general, if you're having 5 years of experience, how much salary will you expect?
50.
Almost 40 to 50K you might expect. 40 to 50K. If you're having 10 years of experience, 80,000 or 1 lakh rupees. So 15 years, you might expect more than that. You might expect 20 years, you might expect more than that. So it can be up to 2 lakhs. Here 90,000, 1 lakh, 1.5 lakhs like this. So what does this indicate is, as and how your work experience is increasing, as and how your work experience is increasing, what is increasing? What is increasing here? Your work experience is increasing, your salary also increases. What does this indicate is, as and how your X increases, your Y also increases. Your Y also increases. So this is called as your positive correlation. No. This is called as positive correlation. Write down this example. As and how your X increases, your Y also increases, then it is called as positive correlation. So the plot, whatever I've drawn the plot, right? This X-axis and Y-axis and this star buttons, stars, this is called as your scatter plot. This is called as your scatter plot. Write down this example. Okay, Manju has stuck in rain. Okay. So this gives you the relationship between your two variables, that is X and Y. X and Y. Is it clear for everyone? As and how your X increases, your Y also is increases, then it is called as your positive correlation. In the diagram, whatever I have plotted, that is called as your scatter plot or scatter diagram. Scatter plot or scatter diagram. Now, how many of them are married? Neha, yes. Bharat, me. Only two? Only two. Rakesh, Manju, okay. Okay, four. Then, okay. So let us take an example of your marriage in order to understand one more correlation. Ratnesh married. How about Rahul? Bala? Okay. So this is your marriage anniversary. This is your marriage anniversary in years. X-axis. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years in marriage. Now this is what should be your y-axis? Come on, tell me. What should be your y-axis? Anyone try? Age? No, I don't want to put age. Will your age come down? No, right, Kumar? No, I'll put it as your life expectancy. Oh, life expectancy. Devanshu, happiness increases or decreases? Devanshu. Now, coming to this example, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 years is nothing but your x-axis. That is nothing but your marriage anniversary in years. And on your y-axis, I have put it as life expectancy. When you get married in the first year anniversary, you will feel that I should live for what? I started from 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. I'll put it as 100 years. So after your first year anniversary, you will feel that I should live for 100 years. You should live for 100 years because it's just newly married, right? So after 2 years, married people can answer this. What do you feel after 2 years? How many years you want to live? Ratnesh, Neha, Devanshu?
We can't
Bala?
go beyond that 100 years.
Beyond that 100 years. Try to be honest. Try to be honest so that Rakesh can get an answer.
That's a,
Don't want to live anymore. Don't want to live anymore. Sanjay, after just 1 year, you're coming to this level. Directly, you're jumping to this level in the second year itself. No? So, in your second year anniversary, after your second year marriage anniversary, you'll expect that let me live for 80 years. Third year, let me live for 60 years. By fifth years, 50 years is done. Almost, let me die tomorrow itself after 15 years or 10 years, right? So, this is called as your negative correlation. Negative correlation. What is this negative correlation is, as and how your x increases, see here, x is increasing 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, but your y from 100, 80 years, 70 years, 60 years, 50 years, 40 years, your y is decreasing. This is called as your negative correlation. Negative correlation. Write down the examples of your scatter plots with respect to positive correlation and also negative correlation. It can be anything. Can you give me some other examples for positive and negative correlation? I want you all to try to give some positive correlation and negative correlation examples.
We can take same example with savings.
Sales. Yes.
Savings, no, same example with a marriage anniversary, x-axis, and y-axis you keep it as a savings.
Okay. Savings will come down,
Yeah.
right? As and how
Yeah.
your marriage
Yeah,
anniversary increases, kids, family, that, this, all those things, your savings will
come down.
directly drop here only. Yes. Job decreases with the increase of population. Okay, then bike usage negative correlation. Bike usage. Yes, can you give me a brief explanation about that? Most of them are giving MRF equities positive, price per liter. Okay, so now let me give an example of your negative correlation. As and now your speed increases, your mileage drops, right? As and now your x increases, your mileage drops. X is nothing but your speed. If you increase your speed, your mileage drops. For positive correlation, let me take an example of your calories intake. Intake of your calories will increase your weight. So this is your positive correlation. Savings increases, interest rate increases. Okay, not exactly. See, but when you talk with respect to inflation, your savings will become zero. Fine, it's a good example. So please note down the points with respect to your scatter plot. Is it done? Scatter plot. Okay, now coming to this, see, second point, it is mentioning it as be careful, correlation is not cause and effect relationship. This you should understand, very important. So when it comes to your correlation, always it doesn't mean that if your x increases, y also increases. There is a correlation. There is a relationship between your x and y. So correlation can also be not for cause and effect relationship. Correlation is also not always cause and effect relationship. For example, consider that you're having x-axis and your y-axis. If your weight increases, will your salary increases? Yes. So if your weight increases, will your salary increase? No. Right? So this is called as your correlation does not guarantee cause and effect relationship. Correlation does not guarantee cause and see, there is no relationship between your weight and salary like this. So that is called as your always. It doesn't mean that your x and y will be having relationship. In some cases it is not. There is no dependency between your cause and effect relationship between your x and y. So you should understand this. Correlation is not cause and effect relationship, and we should be able to solve this with respect to your x-axis and y-axis. You should see that if it is like this, it doesn't mean that there is no relationship. Sometimes you'll be getting like this. Sometimes you might get like this. Your weight is also like this. Let me just plot it. X-axis and y-axis. So when you were 5 years old, you might be 10 kg weight. When you are 20 years old, your weight might, when you are 20 kgs, your salary might not be this thing. So 30 years, your salary might be somewhere here. From zero, it starts to grow. 40 years, you'll be somewhere here. 35 years, somewhere here. 50 years, your salary will be here. So it doesn't mean that if it is increasing positively, it doesn't mean that there is cause and effect relationship, because you should see the variable, because this is weight and this is your salary. Even though it looks like this, but there is no cause and effect relationship between your weight and salary. You cannot depend on, if I increase my weight, my salary will increase. It is not like that. It is not like that. Write down this point also. Write down an example of your weight and your salary. Now, coming to this positive correlation, negative correlation, we'll try to understand what is strong, what is positive, what is moderate, everything. So let me just explain. So consider this is your x-axis and y-axis. Okay, this is your straight line. This is your straight line. If all the data points are exactly on this straight line, then it is, and if it is slightly like this, if it is, or else I'll write it in this way. This is your straight line and your data points are like this. Then it is called as your strong positive correlation. Remember this, strong positive correlation. Why it is called as strong is because the data points, see these data points, whatever I plotted, right, these data points are closer to this straight line. That is the reason it is called as strong. And why it is called as positive is because it is as and now your x increases, your y increases. That is the reason it is called as positive. So this is called as your strong positive correlation. What does the strong positive correlation means? If your data points are lying close to this straight line, or exactly on this straight line, it is called as strong positive correlation. Now coming to strong negative correlation. If you're having a line like this, if your data points are like this, if it is like this, then it is called as strong negative correlation. Means your data point should be close to this particular straight line, then it is called as strong negative correlation. Strong negative correlation. Now, when it comes to moderate positive and moderate negative correlation, if this is your straight line, if your data points are slightly like this, loosely scattered, if your data points are loosely scattered from this straight line, then it is called as moderate positive correlation. Moderate positive correlation, but make sure that your data points are loosely scattered than your straight line. It is not tightly scattered, it is loosely scattered from your straight line. That is the reason it is called as your we'll be having examples each and everything. It can be anything, Bhupendra, it can be anything. I'll show you all these things when we try to implement it, each and everything. I'll be explaining you each and everything. Correlation means what, positive means what, everything. So try to understand the concepts now. If you understand the concept, when we implement, you will be able to tell that whether it is moderate or whether it is strong. You should be able to tell that. That is the reason I'm explaining the concepts here. Now, if it is moderate negative correlation, if your data points are loosely scattered among the straight line, then it is called as moderate negative correlation. Moderate negative. If it is loosely scattered, remember one point, if it is loosely scattered across this straight line, then it is called as negative correlation with respect to moderate. If it is tightly scattered, means your data points are tightly scattered across this straight line, then it is called as strong. That's it, nothing else. Tightly scattered is strong positive, loosely scattered is moderate correlation, whether it can be positive or whether it can be negative. Now there is one more concept. You can tell that it is like this. So now it is neither positive neither negative, then you can call it as there is no correlation between your x-axis and y-axis. No correlation between x and y. Write down all these things: strong positive, strong negative, moderate positive, moderate negative, and also with respect to no correlation. Try to write down all these things. Yes, there is no, this means that there is no cause. See, this means that there is no cause, no effect. So I gave an example for that also. See, Ratnesh, try to understand. Even though if you are getting like this, consider this is your weight: 5 kgs, 10 kgs, 20 kgs, 50 kgs, 80 kgs. For probably you'll be getting zero salary when you're having 5 kg, 10 kg, 20 kg. Once you reach 50 kgs, you might get a salary of 10,000 rupees. Okay. Once your salary weight is increased to 60 kgs, you might get 20,000 rupees salary. Once your salary weight increases to 80 kg, you might get 50,000 rupees salary. It doesn't mean that it is positive correlation. So this is also an example for your cause and effect relationship. No cause and effect means here there is no cause and effect relationship between your x and your y. Got it, Ratnesh? Even though if it is looking like positive, it is not cause and effect relationship between your x and y variable. Try to understand that. Write down positive, strong, negative, moderate positive, moderate negative.
Network.
Okay, now see here. Correlation indicates the relationship between two sets of data. This is called as a strong positive because it is slightly closer to the straight line. That is the reason it is called as strong positive correlation. This is called as your moderate negative correlation. See, it is slightly loosely scattered. Slightly loosely scattered, you can call it as moderate negative correlation. Suppose if you are having data points like this, you are having data points like this. That is called as your moderate positive correlation. And this is called as your strong negative because the data points are closely or tightly scattered between this straight line. That is the reason it is called a strong negative correlation because it is like this. Because it is when you see this, there is no correlation. There is no correlation. And you can see here there is weak negative correlation. Instead of telling it as weak positive and weak negative, you can tell it as moderate. You can tell it as moderate rather than telling it as weak positive, weak negative. You can tell that it is moderate. So I'll explain you in the next slide what is this, how you can determine how it is strong, how it is moderate, how it is poor or weak. In next slide I'm going to explain you those things. So see here, this point says that judge the strength of the relationship, whether it is strong or whether it is moderate or whether it is poor, is based on the width or tightness of the scatter. Width or tightness of the scatter, you can decide whether it is strong, whether it is moderate, whether it is poor. If it is tightly scattered fully, then it is called as strong. Moderate means if it is slightly loosely scattered, you can call it as moderate. And if it is loosely like this or still like this, then it is called as poor correlation. Poor correlation. Is it done? Any questions, any doubts? Bharat, Bhupendra, Lahari, Bala, Devanshu. Note down. Note it down. Ranjini, Ratnesh, Sanjay.
Please wait. Please
Okay.
wait. I am just noting down.
Sure, sure. Is it done, Bhupendra?
Yeah, yeah.
Yogesh,
Yes.
this is Bharat.
Yes, Bharat.
Yeah, this correlation analysis will go when uh, if we have two outputs and if both the outputs are continuous, correct?
See, there will be no two outputs. There is no chance of having two outputs. When will you have two outputs? See, for example, 1 plus 1 is how much?
Okay. Yeah. There
2.
will be one. Yeah.
3 into 2 is how much?
Yes.
6. Only one output is there, right? So
Yeah.
this scatter diagram is whether it is input or output, it doesn't matter. See,
Okay.
this is what it says. Relationship of two continuous variables, whether it can be output variable, one output, one input, or whether it can be x1, x2, whether it can be x3 also. So you want to plot between x1, x2, x3. Consider that you are having three variables, x1, x2, x3. You want to plot the relationship between
Okay.
x1 and x2. You can plot like this: x1 here, x2 here. If you want to plot between x1 and x3, x1 you can plot here, x3 you can plot here. And if you want to plot between x2 and x3, you can plot x2 here, x3 here. And you're having one output. For example, you're having y. So you can plot y-axis here, and you can plot x1 here, y-axis here, x2 here, y-axis here, x3 here. Anything you can plot. So here it doesn't matter whether it is input or output. You're just
Okay.
checking the relationship of two
Two
variables. That's it.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
Okay, let me go to the next slide. So by seeing this plot, you can say it is positive or negative, or you can tell it as strong positive, strong negative, or moderate positive or moderate negative. But when it comes to correlation analysis, you should prove it subjectively, or you should prove it objectively with some values. So in order to understand this, there is something called as correlation analysis. Correlation analysis here. Correlation analysis measures the degree of linear relationship between two variables. So if I'm plotting your x-axis here, y-axis here, and there is a straight line and my data points are like this. For example, I'm taking it as like this. So it says that correlation analysis measures the degree of linear relationship, means whether these data points are linear or not between two variables. That is, the measurement is called as your correlation analysis. The measurement of this straight line, the data points which are following the straight line, the measure of that is called as your correlation analysis. Correlation analysis, and this correlation analysis is called as your correlation coefficient. Correlation coefficient. And this correlation coefficient is denoted by small r. Write down this, very important. Correlation coefficient is denoted by small r. Small r. See, this range of correlation coefficient, that is your small r, will be always between -1 to +1. -1 to +1. Remember this. The range of correlation coefficient will be between -1 to +1. So if your data points are exactly on the straight line, means all the data points are exactly on the straight line, then it is called as perfect positive relationship. Perfect positive relationship. But getting this perfect positive relationship when it comes to your real time, it is highly impossible. You might get, see, if you're working for 100 projects, you might get very one cases or two cases, you might get like this. Because all the data points getting exactly it is highly, you might get like this. You'll get like this. I've got like this multiple times. Even you might be getting like this 989, or you will be getting it as 975, or you might get sometimes 0.995 like this. But getting +1 is slightly rare. Slightly rare. So why it is slightly rare is because all the data points should exactly lie on your straight line. Then it is called as perfect positive relationship. Third point. Perfect negative relationship is if you plot your x-axis and y-axis, and if you plot a straight negative line like this, it is like this. It is like this. Okay, so that is your -1. So your range of correlation coefficient, that is small r, will take values between -1 to +1, and if you're having perfect positive relationship, it is +1, and they should lie exactly on this straight line. If you're talking about your perfect negative relationship, if you're having a negative line like this, all the data points should lie on the straight line, then it is called as perfect negative relationship. But getting this perfect positive and perfect negative is highly impossible. You might get 0.999, or you might get -0.997, but getting +1 and -1 is slightly difficult. Means it is not impossible. I'm telling it as rare cases. I'm telling it as rare cases. It depends on your data. Now, this no linear relationship means if you're plotting your x-axis and y-axis, if you get a r value as 0, then that indicates that there is no linear relationship. But getting 0 is also highly impossible, because everything depends on your data. But you'll be getting something r is equal to 0.1, r is equal to 0.3, like this. So we'll try to understand your r value now. So as I told you that your r value should be always between -1 to +1. So now coming to your correlation coefficient. So if your r value is, note down this important point, if your r value, that is called as your correlation coefficient, is greater than 0.85, if it is greater than 0.85, it is called as strong positive correlation. Strong positive correlation. If your r value is between 0.65 to 0.85, then it is called as moderate positive correlation. Write down these values. 0.65 to 0.85, it is called as moderate positive correlation. If your r value is less than 0.65, then it is called as poor correlation. Poor positive correlation. Suppose instead of getting plus 0.65, if you get minus, it is called as poor negative correlation. Instead of getting between plus 0.65 to 85, if you get minus 0.65 to minus 0.85, then it is called as moderate negative correlation. Instead of getting it as plus, if you get it as greater than minus 0.85, then it is called as strong negative correlation. Strong negative correlation. So write down this. Greater than 0.85, strong. Between 0.65 to 0.85, it is moderate. Less than 0.65, it is
Poor positive correlation.
whether it can, see, plus or minus, I'll put it as here, plus or minus. If it is positive, it is positive correlation. If it is negative, it is negative correlation. Try to understand in that. It is simple. Consider that you have written an exam. If you get 85% and more, you'll be considered as distinction student, right? If you are between 60 to 85% student, you are considered as on an average student, first class student. Less than 60%, you are considered as normal student, right? So similarly, here it is positive, strong, it is moderate, and here it is 65. Moderate and less than 65, it is poor model, normal model. Normal means poor model, we can call it as here. Poor correlation. Whatever I have explained, that has been noted over here. If value is if your R value is greater than 0.85, it is called as positive. If value is between 0.65 to 0.85, positive or negative. Yes, if R value is less than 0.65, it is negative, poor correlation. See, that is what less than or equal to means what, Bhupendra? What do you mean by less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to? That is what I told you. If your R value is greater than or equal to 0.65 to less than 0.85, it is called as moderate. Less than or equal to, you should add it. Remember that. That is your common sense, Bhupendra. Yeah, less than means less than or equal to, in the sense it will not be equal to, it will be only R is less than 0.65, it is called as poor correlation. You cannot add less than or equal to for both the sides, right? So that is the reason I'm writing it as less than 0.65, it is called as poor correlation. Larry, could you be on mute, please?
Oh, sorry.
Now you can see here, whatever I've explained, everything is written. If the absolute value of the correlation coefficient is greater than 0.85, then we can say that there is a good relationship or strong relationship. Example here I've written. I'm talking only about good or strong or poor or moderate. See, I'm talking about your absolute value. Absolute value means only I'm talking with respect to 0.85 and not about plus or minus here. You should understand this. Absolute value means I'm not talking with respect to negative. I'm just talking about this value. So if your R value is greater than or equal to 0.87 and R is equal to minus 0.9 plus 0.9 minus 0.87, it is called as strong or good relationship. Strong or good relationship. Coming to this, if your R value is 0.5 minus 0.5, 0.28, this describes your poor relationship because all are less than 0.65. Now, correlation values minus 1 plus 1. Minus 1 and plus 1 implies an exact linear relationship. However, the real value of correlation is in quantifying less than, as I told you, you might get like this. So real value you might be getting like this. So it is quantifying less than perfect relationships. We can perform regression analysis which attempts to further describe this type of relationship. So if you are having a correlation between your X and Y, if you're having a strong correlation or moderate correlation between your X and Y, then you can go for regression analysis. We can perform this. Which attempts to further describe this type of relationship. If the correlation is good, between two variables. Note down this slide, whatever I explained with respect to correlation analysis. Correlation analysis is denoted by small r, that is called as your correlation coefficient. And the range of correlation coefficient will be -1 to +1. And the perfect positive relationship will be 1. And perfect negative correlation will be -1. No linear relationship will be 0. And if it is greater than 0.85, it is called as strong. If it is less than 0.85, between 65 to 85, it is called as moderate positive or moderate negative based on your sign. And if it is less than 0.65, you can call it as
Poor positive correlation.
yes. If it is less than 0.65, it is called as your poor correlation, whether it can be positive or negative based on your plus or minus. Yes, we can proceed with respect to your regression analysis based on the result of correlation. If the positive or negative is not good, then we will not proceed with regression. It is not like that. It depends again. I'll explain you that part. So that is the reason I'm explaining you this, Sanjay. Is it done? Okay. Now I want you all to identify what is first picture, second picture, and third picture with respect to strong positive or strong negative or moderate negative or whatever it is. First picture A, what it is.
Moderate.
You can tell it as moderate. Okay, then you should tell it as moderate positive correlation, not just moderate. Second one, no correlation. Third one,
Perfect negativity.
Moderate negative.
moderate negative
Negative.
correlation. Yes. So as I told you that you need to calculate your R. So this correlation coefficient is denoted by R. So if you want to calculate it mathematically, see this. This is the value to calculate your small r. This is the formula. Just note down this formula for your knowledge purpose. Formula. So what is n? What is n?
Number of events.
Yes, the number of events or number of samples, whatever it is, whatever it is. So consider this. I'm just taking some example and I'm just going to explain this. Consider that you're having two columns like this. This is X, this is Y. For example, I'm writing it as 2, 1, 1, 3, 4, 2. Okay, I'm going to write like this. So N is 3. N is equal to 3 because you're having only 1, 2, and 3 records. So N is 3. I'm explaining this formula into summation of X into Y. X into Y in the sense you should calculate this. 2 ones are 2, 3 ones are 3, 4 twos are 8. It will be how much?
13.
13 minus summation of X 7, summation of Y is what? 6 divided by what? Square root of
In sum of x square.
yes, N square root of N. N is how much? 3. Summation of X square. Summation of X square in the sense you should do this square.
7 square.
No, it is X square. Try to understand. It is not 7 square. It is 2 square is 4. 1 square is 1. 4 square is how much? 16. So 16 plus 4 is 20, 21 it is. 21. See here, the difference between this and this, X square and X whole square. X whole square means it is 7 square is 49. Got it? Got the difference? X square and X whole square. Yes? Now, into this bracket is closed. Now, like this. N is again 3. Summation of Y square. Y is 1,
1.
9, 4. You can see it is 14. 14 a minus summation of Y whole square. Y is how much? 6. It is 36. If you calculate this entire thing, you are going to get a value that is nothing but your R value. That is nothing but your R value. Just note down this formula. Now, the next topic is called as your linear regression model. So the next topic is called as your linear regression model. So this linear regression model says that, try to understand the equation that represents how an independent variable is related to a dependent variable. What do you mean by independent variable? What do you mean by independent variable? Independent variable. Ratnesh, you're wrong. Ratnesh, you're wrong. Yes, it is nothing but your input variable. So your y is nothing but your dependent variable. Remember that I've told you. Dependent variable is your y. It is also called as target variable. Target variable. It is also called as response variable. It is also called as output variable. Remember this. So the equation that represents how an independent variable is nothing but your x is related to your y. That is nothing but your dependent variable. So your x is called as your independent variable. Independent variable. Now, so can anyone tell me what is the equation of line? Equation of straight line. If you are remembering your college days. Equation of straight line.
Y is equal to mx plus c.
Yes, y is equal to mx plus c. What is c?
Constant.
What is m? Slope. What is x?
Input.
Yes, it is your constant or intercept, you can call it as. So this is nothing but your input. So similar to this, y is equal to mx plus c, we have a linear regression equation. So the equation that represents the regression equation that represents how an independent variable, how an input variable is related to your output variable, and an error term is called as your regression model. And an error term is called as your regression model. Now, coming to this equation is this one. Y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1x plus epsilon. This beta naught is nothing but your intercept. Y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1x plus epsilon. Beta naught is nothing but it is your intercept. Beta 1 is what? Slope. Beta 1 is nothing but your slope, and x is nothing but your input variable, and epsilon is nothing but your error. And an error term is a regression model, that is nothing but your, this epsilon is nothing but your error. What is error? Error is nothing but the difference between your actual value and the predicted value. Actual value minus predicted value. That is called as your error. That is called as your error. That is called as your error. So y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1x plus epsilon is nothing but your linear regression equation, and beta naught is your intercept, beta 1 is nothing but your slope, x is nothing but your input variable, epsilon is nothing but your error, and this error is nothing but your actual value minus predicted value is called as your error. Is called as your error. Now this beta naught and beta 1 together, this beta naught and beta 1 together is called as your parameters, or you can call it as coefficients. In some books they will call it as coefficients, and some books they will call it as parameters. In other some books they will also call it as estimates. So estimates, coefficients or parameters, it is one and the same. that is beta naught and beta 1. Beta naught and beta 1 together, it is called as your parameters or coefficients or estimates of the model. And epsilon is nothing but a random variable called as error term. Error is nothing but your actual value minus predicted value, and this error in some books or some machine learning books, they are going to represent it as small e. Small e. Now, if you want to calculate this beta naught, this is the formula. This beta 1, this is the formula, and x is nothing but your input variable. Whatever the input you are passing, that one. Whatever the input you are passing, that is your x. And this epsilon is nothing but once you are having some actual value and once you are predicting something, the difference between these two is called as your error term. This two is called as your error term. So write down this formula for your knowledge purpose. Just for your knowledge purpose, you can write down. Nobody will ask you to explain you this formula, but if you know, it is well and good. If you don't know also, it's not a problem. But you should remember this equation is important. If somebody asks you what is the regression equation, you should tell it as y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1x plus epsilon. What is this epsilon? This epsilon is nothing but your error term.
Error.
Beta naught and beta 1 together, it is called as parameter or coefficients or estimates, and this x is nothing but your inputs. Okay, write down this. Okay, Bhupendra, if it is becoming heavy, we will stop at this point, but make down this notes. Y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1x plus epsilon is nothing but your error. Beta naught and beta 1 are called as your parameters of the model. So epsilon is a random variable called error term. See, I'll not be the same speed until and unless we complete your clustering. Until and unless we complete clustering, we'll be on the same speed. Once we complete that, we'll increase our speed. So tomorrow we are going to build a linear regression model, that is simple linear regression. Tomorrow we are going to implement it in your R as well as Python with respect to your case study. With respect to your case study, we are going to solve this simple linear regression and when to go for simple linear regression and how to solve this and with a business case. With a business case. So any questions until this beta naught, beta 1? Any questions? Bhupendra, this shouldn't be heavy for you because I've just completed 3 slides. Generally, I used to complete for 1.5 hours 6 slides. Any other questions, Bharat? Any other doubts? Rakesh, Ratnesh, Sanjay, Kumar?
Yogesh,
Yes.
will they ask
Bala.
this equations in interview and all?
No. They will not ask you this equation. They will ask you, but this they will not ask you.
Okay.
This equation there you should remember.
Okay.
Yogesh, adding to the same question,
Yeah.
Nobody asked us how to solve and all this equation, or only
Solve.
this. Give it.
This
Huh?
this one.
Huh?
No. They will not ask you. Don't worry. See, who will remember? Even I too don't remember this formula, to be frank. Even though you might have worked 100 times by implementing your linear regression model, but you will never remember this. I will remember 100%. I know how to do this. I'll remember these things, but I will never remember this. Nobody can remember all these things. Even the
But
interviewer
they
who is
might ask
asking a
to.
question.
They might ask to show in that how to implement R.
Yeah, how to implement in R, they will show 100%. They will ask you. They might give you a case study and they might tell you implement it in R. It depends. Either they might ask you R or Python. It depends on an interviewer. You can tell them that I'm going to implement it using any of these two languages. But nobody will ask you, hey, how did you calculate your beta naught? Nobody will remember this.
Oh, okay.
Any other
So in,
questions?
so in interview they'll ask to resolve the problem in the using the R and Python.
It depends on company. Some companies will ask you, some companies might not ask you. In Accenture, we don't ask. In some companies, they might ask you. Okay, tomorrow we are going to discuss about your regression analysis. Today we have discussed about your scatter plot, correlation analysis, and based on this we have come to your linear regression model. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about your regression analysis, and then we are going to implement a topic called as simple linear regression, when to go for linear regression, everything tomorrow we are going to discuss. Because that is more important. See, if you just know equation, it doesn't make sense. You should know for which business problem you are implementing linear regression. That is what we are going to discuss in tomorrow's session. Okay, thank you all.
Sorry, Yogesh, I have some
Yes,
doubts.
yes,
It's not on the linear regression. Sorry for regarding the hypothesis testing,
yes.
because just because you regarding the Innova testing.
It is
One
ANOVA, it is not Innova.
sorry, Innova testing.
If you tell it
Uh,
as in an interview Innova test, you'll be out. I'm telling you now itself.
yeah, Innova test. Sorry, yeah.
Yes.
Because I didn't have the data set what is shown on the, so based on your I
No.
prepared some
I'll be
data.
tonight by around 10:30, 11 o'clock. You'll receive. I think I've shared you yesterday. I guess some of them.
No, we didn't receive actually. I reminded 2 to 3 times, but I
No.
didn't receive. But no problem.
Okay.
But I
I'll share you.
prepared the based on some data roughly.
Okay.
But when I do the step by step as well for what you did in in the example, so
Mm-hmm.
I did first I did the normalization.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
For ANOVA, see
looking,
one thing. Remember one thing. One way
yeah,
ANOVA, right? You're talking about.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. One way,
normality test. Normality test.
yeah. No, I did with my use my stacking the data.
Mm-hmm.
So Shapiro test I did.
Mm-hmm.
The p value I got it as a 1.428.
Mm-hmm.
Is it greater than the
1.43.
0? 1.428 I got. Is it greater
No
than
chance. No
0.05?
chance. See, always your p value will be between 0 to 1. There is no chance of getting 1.428. Always your probability will be between 0% to 100%. How can you get more than 140%?
Yeah, then what is the problem with the data or what is it?
Obviously, you might have done some mistake with your data.
Because I just 10 records I just copy repeated until the 220 records.
No, not like that. I'll be sharing you the data. For ANOVA, for business cases and all, you cannot prepare your own data set like rough data set. Generally for mean, median, mode, you can put anything and you can calculate. For business case, you should have the original data set, right?
Mm.
Today I'll be sharing you all those things.
So if I want to do any normalization for the data to make it normal,
Mhm.
we need to, you told that we need to use a logarithm, no? Log.
It can be log, it can be square, it can be anything. In tomorrow's session, we are going to discuss about that also.
Okay.
Tomorrow, in order to increase your accuracy of the model, I'm going to show you how to implement your linear regression and how to increase your accuracy model by applying your log transformation. Tomorrow I'll show you this also. And tonight I'll be sharing this course until whatever we have completed until yesterday. Please try to practice it. Please try to practice. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you all.
Okay, thanks.
Good night.
Good night.